Oh, no. There you
Okay,
go. Yeah. All set. Okay. Evening, everybody.
because we're just letting anybody.
We're starting a little late. Oh, 7:08, that's not bad. Finance and economic, or, economic development. We have an agenda in front of us. We do have one addition under 9F. Adam, what is it?
It's an emergency management landfill discussion.
Landfill?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else? No motion to accept the agenda? Dale? Richard, thank you. Anybody opposed? Not scared? Declaration of pecuniary interest? Hearing none? We have the minutes of February 19th. Those on the table?
Yeah, some of your students.
Good. Seconder? Dale?
Yeah.
Discussion? One thing on the minutes. I know it's I'd just like to get moved to these minutes so that we can look after it. And it is the staff is directed to research the definition of shoreline and marine allowance. And make appropriate changes as it relates to draft bylaw 2025-23. I know they haven't had time to do this, so I'd just like it put on the agenda for next meeting.
Certainly, and
Yeah.
if I may as well, every item under item 7 bylaw, due to the emergency situations, we haven't had time to act on anything in the bylaw section, so basically they're all in progress.
So we're gonna move on 7,
All of
A, B, and
section
C
7.
to the next agenda, right?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're all still in the comment period.
One
Well,
comment period
there's
did-
one finished, but
yeah, one did
nobody
finish,
had time to,
but
yeah.
no work has been done on it since.
okay, that's understandable. We'll just move it. All right, so where are we at with these minutes? So that was the only comment I had on those minutes, was to move that. So anybody opposed to accepting those minutes? Minutes carried. Okay, we have the economic development, well, there's no delegations. We have the economic development events report. I'm gonna let our event coordinator take this one. Amazing report. So,
Thank you.
go ahead.
So in the community, we still have, programming as well. Right now, programming is on hold due to the emergency situation. But previous to that, I guess this report covers January until the end of March. We continue to have our 3 yoga classes. We have our chair yoga and our yoga on Tuesday afternoons, and we have an evening yoga, at the Spring Bay Hall. The 2 yoga classes that happen on Tuesday afternoons are covered through the Seniors Active Living Center grant, so they are free to participants. The Wednesday evening yoga is a $10 per class fee. Chair yoga is still very popular, lots of attendees. So that's continuing as normal. We continue to have knowledge sharing sessions, twice a month throughout January and March. We had some really fun ones. We made soap, we painted porch cleaners, we did some weaving, we had a lot of fun. Those are always well attended, and usually there's a wait list for those classes. Our exercise sessions, we had another exercise session in both Minimuy and Providence Bay throughout the winter. Friends of Minimuy Old School sponsored the one in Providence Bay, so they paid for all the instructor fees and resistance bands, all of that jazz for Providence Bay. And it was in such a demand that participants had asked for a pay like they would pay for a session in Manitoulin throughout the winter. So we ended up, continuing a session in Minnemoya where participants paid $45 to attend, which worked out to be less than $5 per class. So that's going great. We're planning on another session that was supposed to start this week at Providence Bay, but it has been pushed back until the emergency has been lifted. We continue with our senior drop-in program throughout January through March. Seeing about 5 to 7 people in attendance each afternoon. That we hold it twice a month, so each program we see about 5 to 7 people. We had the snow sculpture competition, which was a huge success. Had 5 families enter submissions, and we saw over probably 55,000 views online for that event. A great community, even though because the community views it online, so that's where we saw the most feedback. We had our youth ice fishing tournament in March. You can see lots of the smiling kids on the pictures that were included in the report. Another success.
There's some nice fish caught.
There was some beautiful
Whoa.
fish caught. Last year we had barely any lake trout entries, and
Yeah.
this year we had so many.
Yeah, I followed it online and there was some nice fish caught.
Yeah, 29 inches I think was the largest,
Yeah.
and they had two girls back to back, both caught 29-inch lake trouts. They were out visiting family from Orangeville and Central Manitoulin, so they qualified for the tournament. And yeah, they each caught 29-inch lakers. So yeah, lots of smiles were sent in. It was nice to see all the kids having fun. And I mean, that tournament is sponsored, that and the snow sculpture tournament are both sponsored by local community businesses that donated all the prize money. We did our March Break Youth program. The week started off with the weather advisory, so we had to cancel Monday's session, but we had so much fun over the remainder of the week. We did a robotics class, we did painting, the monkey bread, we made monkey bread with the kids, and we had a slime workshop. So that's pretty much sums up most of the events that happened over the past 3 months, and I plan to continue as soon as this emergency is lifted, continue with the regular programming. We have our Mother's Day market coming up on May 2nd. We had our Easter egg hunt recently, so yeah, I'm keeping busy.
I heard lots of comments on the Easter egg hunt again this year.
Did you? Yeah, there was a lot of snow this year. We went out with our snowshoes and tried to stomp down the ball field as much as we could. But yeah, it wasn't as well attended, I believe, this year, but I think a lot of that had to do with the cold, rainy weather, but yeah, kids had lots of fun, for sure. And that's about it.
Those kids make those buns and all that?
They sure did all by
Oh,
themselves.
they look so delicious.
Okay.
That's all.
Just had one.
Eh?
I just had one. I didn't even hear tell monkey bread before, but
No,
apparently
no.
it's just salmon buns.
Yeah, Pam Roy
Fantastic.
came and taught the class, was the same lady that made the sticky buns that were here tonight, yeah.
She makes the best cinnamon roll.
Doesn't she? Yeah, and they were delicious.
They look delicious. Any other comments from council?
Just one that's amazing, the kids that come to those programs. I know Spring Bay Church has put on a kids cooking every Tuesday, and it's amazing the amount of kids that are there, and it's great to see the kids come to the programs.
Well,
every Tuesday.
yeah,
I think it's a very good report too.
Yeah,
thank you.
awesome.
That's what did.
Well, to see those smiling faces with the slime, that's so
Yeah.
fun.
I know, parents hate it, but kids love it.
Well,
And maybe
They
it doesn't
love
like
it.
it either, by the way.
Yeah, it makes a bit of a mess, but yeah. Maintenance forgave us.
Well done, council.
I didn't get a first or seconder on that one, it came to.
No,
I'll make a motion that we accept the coordinator report.
Seconder is Dale. Anybody opposed to accepting this report? And it's carried. Well done.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, the minutes from the Community Improvement Plan Evaluation Committee. March the 12th.
Motion to, accept.
Okay. Derek. Seconder. Richard. Any comments on it?
There's one motion that has to come out of it. Once we've seconded.
Okay.
Like that mentioned too.
All right, so we have Derek and Richard making put this on the table. Anybody opposed to it? If not, it's carried. And then we have a motion from that we recommend to council to approve the SIP application 2026-01 for Manitoulin Inn for program 2 carpet replacement in the amount of $5,000.
And so I'll make that motion.
Okay. Seconder for that motion? Yeah, Dale? Anybody opposed to it or any discussion on it? And that is carried.
Was that, one question, was that the only application for the first round of funding going?
I do believe it was, it's a one application. And we have a little bit of money left in that kitty for somebody else.
I believe that the total budgeted amount for that program is $100,000.
Yeah.
5,000, so yeah.
We have used some of it up.
So that would be the first
Yeah.
first quarter.
Okay, so we said we're going to leave section 7 to the next meeting. So everything to do with bylaws, so that's gonna be, we'll move that on. I don't think we need a motion to that, eh?
No.
No, okay.
There's no.
All right, number 8 is the Tracy Road subdivision verbal update. Is there anything on that, Denise?
Yes, there is actually. We were contacted by the developers. They would like a change to a planned phased approach. They've submitted the wording to the planning board. That new wording is going to the planning board meeting at the end of April, and we shall see it after that.
Oh. Okay, so there's nothing really we have to do right now. We just gotta wait for the planning board, correct?
Yeah, they did hand in the environmental assessment study for the first phase, and then they, when questioned by Teresa as to whether they wanted to develop it as a phased approach, they said yes. We had a meeting with Richard, myself, Lee, Christine Lang, and Teresa from the planning board regarding the necessary changing of the wording in the agreement, and that's going to the planning board at the end of April. And like I say, council should see it after that.
Questions?
One, what's the definition of the new wording?
It just takes out the requirement to do the whole plan at once and just phase it over. Yeah, do it in steps.
Okay.
That part of it hasn't been determined how it's going to be worded yet. We're working on that, right, Denise?
Yes, yeah, the wording has gone back and forth between Christine and Teresa a couple times to iron out any difficulties. They had originally wanted to alter just one of the sections, but Teresa felt that there was more sections that needed to be updated based on a phased approach. So that's gone back and forth, but it's expected to go to the planning board meeting at the end of April.
So basically, what's that do to the whole project? It just moves it back or what? At their cost?
It just allows it, one of the things that Richard said that we were concerned about is if they started selling lots in an area that's non-developed. So we're putting in the wording so that they develop it and sell it in phases so that they can garner the money then to continue on with the project for the next phase. So I don't know exactly how many lots are in the first phase of development, but we'll see that when they iron out all the changes to the subdivision agreement. they are minor changes, like they're only changing the wording regarding that, regarding the sections that call for the entire project to be completed. It's just, you know, that it'll be done in as a phased approach. So I think there's 3 or 4 sections that are being altered.
I think what we're trying to avoid there, Mr. Chairman, is what we experienced in an earlier subdivision where they were trying to do the whole thing in one big parcel and they started selling lots. And then they didn't finish the plan of subdivision, which meant all of the lots they'd sold could not get building permits. By breaking it up into smaller mouthfuls, then we can do phases at a time and make sure.
So the
that
lots, but yeah, that are not in the affected or under development or whatever can't be sold then.
I'm not sure, that's part of.
So that's
still
why,
to be- to
okay,
be-
so,
But it's the same idea that you're trying to prevent, if you've got
yeah.
a dozen lots that are in the first phase, you wanna market and sell those, then you move on to the next one. You don't
All right,
buy and sell here, and all the way around the table.
Raymond, you got anything to say on that?
I know, yeah, just, it's, you know, just like, exactly like Richard said, just phasing it in, so that you do, let's say, 5 lots. The money you get from that, then you move on to the next 5, or it could be 10, you know,
Derek?
The only concern I would have to it, does the infrastructure stage have to be done before lots can be sold? Like roads and stuff would have to be done before. Cause I wouldn't wanna see like a trail put in and then some lots sold and then. So, okay,
they have to have access to
they
it.
have to have access to, so the roads would have to be brought up to standard and then lots. could be
Whereas they might, have the majority of the road put in, develop, and then once the majority of the development's done, then they would do the final. The big traffic's not wrecking the road.
When Teresa brings the document back to council, is when we discuss most of it. We'll have knowledge of exactly what they're asking for.
But they're advertising lots for sale now, are they not?
Yes, they are, but when that stops.
So who's controlling that? Them?
Think so, yeah.
So, yeah, but we don't even know if they've sold any lots in the second phase or the third phase.
They can sell it.
I don't think they can sell it as long as it's an open, subdivision plan.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah, no, it's
finalized.
finalized.
You can sell on speculation.
I think you can advertise, but you can't sell any lots yet.
Well, they've been advertising for quite some time.
Yeah,
Yeah, you could
anybody
have,
can advertise.
you could have a prospective buyer who would put a down payment on it and say, I want that lot when it comes available, and,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's speculation buying.
Yeah.
Perfectly legal.
Will the planning board check on that?
That's a good point. What's your thoughts on that, Ray? What would the control
I
be?
think before the subdivisions is really registered, then yeah, they technically can sell them, right? So.
Something we should check on.
Yeah.
Note of that one.
Anybody else got anything to say about it? So do we need a motion for the?
No, this is just an update unless council wants to have a direction of staff to do something.
No, cause it's it's the planning board that has got this right now, eh?
Yes.
Raymond, you got anything else on this? Okay, thanks, Raymond.
I'm just gonna hand this out for the next one.
Thanks.
That's like standard, sorry. This is from Fomos.
Please disregard the verbal update portion of it.
Yeah, well, I figured I better give them some documentation. What they're looking at. So,
Thank you.
I do believe that this was provided to you guys when Allison McAllister did her delegation. But now she's kind of updated it, with regard to the request for the request out of permit waiver. So you see the number down at the bottom, she circled there. You forgot to add in $50 admin fee, which is not a huge deal, but anyways. Or 87,000, I didn't write that down, of course.
$7,028.96 per item, 50 to it. Yep. Yeah, that's perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, I guess we need a motion to put that on the table. Discussion?
Just a very, just an
Oh,
update
verbal?
for you, just an update for you, and because. And also I did meet with Allison and looked over the plans as well, so.
Good.
I'm very happy with those and. I believe they were requesting to move forward or something.
Questions to Raymond then?
Just a quick thing, Raymond, are they not asking for a waiving of the building permit fee?
Yeah, that's what I stated.
Okay, so then we will need a motion from council for that, yeah.
So you're saying the permit fee is $7,000 or?
Yeah, just over 7,000.
Yeah.
Okay, council. Have at it. Yep.
Yeah, I think this group is definitely, you know, active and they're hoping to have this opened to the public. I think it's in 28, it needs to be done. So far, they've carried the cost of everything. Except a small bit of, we've carried our own insurance. They have had significant donations. It's my opinion that they should still carry that cost because the costs of doing this. We've given them extensions. We've been quite lenient over the years, but so far they've carried their costs, and I think they should continue.
You still, anybody else? Derek?
With the first phase work that they wanted to bring. Without doing the other work. Like this is what the upstairs work, so they would still have to do the downstairs work. And they get an occupancy permit without completing the whole project.
Yes, yes, you can, floor by floor. This, you would just bolt cordon off the downstairs, right, if they needed to, so.
Isn't a lot of their mechanical in that
Yes, but they are,
downstairs.
yes, so it's kind of part, it would be part and parcel. They wanna finish the upstairs as a phased approach, right, then work towards the finishing the basement, but they still need to do the mechanical in the basement, so. It's gonna be a permit for basically the mechanical and on the upper floor. Then the next portion, I could give them occupancy for the upper floor only, let's say, and only over one person downstairs to do your servicing. And then when they wanna apply for another permit to finish the basement, then we can give them full occupancy.
Yeah, it's part of the thing I'm scared of. Is that all of a sudden it's open to the public then. But the downstairs isn't completed and you still have the problems downstairs. I'm not, maybe I'm overanalyzing it, I'm overthinking it, but. I'd like to see the complete project, like. Before public occupancy is allowed, anyway, that's just my concerns with this whole project.
Hey, Richard?
Well, I take what Councillor Stevens is saying, but I kind of also marry it to what we were just discussing as far as a phased in approach to the subdivision. That you complete a portion of it as you can see a need and have the parties to move into it. And leave the rest until later date when things are more plannable to finishing. And I also take a look at this $7,000 figure here. And I realize that this is our building. If we're renovating one of our buildings, we don't have to buy a permit or pay for a permit. And I see this as exactly the same as an investment in our own properties. I would vote to waive it at this point.
Anybody else have any comments on
Race to the comment.
it? Yeah, Ray, go ahead.
Right, just to appease Derek, all the safety aspects would have to be addressed, so the public, if they did meander downstairs, there shouldn't be any safety issues, because those have to be addressed before I can issue occupancy.
Well, yeah, the concern that I have is if we allow occupancy in the top without the bottom being done, all your HVAC and everything is in the bottom. And if you get your molds and stuff that are there come back, you're pumping it through the building. And that's the concerns that I have about not completing the whole project. It's different than a subdivision where it's not affecting a whole lot of public. This will be a public building, and it is our building.
Yes.
So
There,
we're still sort of responsible if something happens, so.
there is plans for all of the mechanical and the plumbing and such to be upgraded downstairs, so, and then obviously the HVAC going on there.
Okay, and, like I said, I might be overanalyzing, but I like to see complete projects. This is what I like to see, so.
I have a question. Claire or Dale, do you have a question or no?
I do, but you go ahead.
Okay. Are you comfortable with the process they're following?
From the plans I see, I
As a building inspector?
see an issue with the plans that they're proposing.
It's not as if we haven't waived permit fees before. And as Richard or the mayor said, it is our building at the end of the day. Whether if they default in any way, it comes back to us, so it is our property that we could do something with later. And also, I think they are doing seniors programs through our working with the municipality with seniors programs, so it's not as if it's private. Well, I guess it is private in a way, but it's coming back for our use too through the different programs, so anyway, my thoughts on it, so.
I don't have a problem with permit fees. It's just a project.
Yeah, Dale.
Just two conditions. The extension was in March of 24. So 24 months, I think it's $1.5 million they need to have in their budget or asset. And then in 28, they need to have it open to the public.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can pay, or we can forego the permit. We're not losing, well, we are losing money, but I agree, it is our building. But right from the start, that group has gone on the premise that they're going to save the building. They've gone through Heritage. They've gotten some substantial funding, and they paid. The agreement was they were going to pay all expenses. That was right from the start. They were going to carry all their expenses. We carried a little bit of hydro, keep a light on. We paid a little bit of our own insurance, and that was it. My opinion is we stay with that agreement.
Okay, anybody else got any comments? So I guess the motion would be that councilors prepare, or can we recommend to council that we would be prepared to waive the permit fee. Am I correct in that, Mr. Mayor?
Well, I'd go ahead and make the motion that we do as requested and waive the fees in this particular instance, one case only.
But yeah, okay, on its own merit.
On merit, yeah.
So that would be the motion. Do I have a, Mayor, are you making that motion?
I'll make the motion, yeah.
Do I have a seconder for that motion?
I'll second the motion reluctantly.
Reluctantly, okay. All right,
Um,
do we take this to a recorded vote? I think we will. Okay, so there's only 4 of us tonight. And Rose is away. So. I'll start this to the right of me.
I'm in favor.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
no? And I will vote yes. The motion is carried. All right. That's all we needed on that. I guess we go on to new business, which is the Manitoulin Planning Board minutes of the special budget committee meeting, March the 23rd. Motion to put that on.
Yes, so
Okay, seconder, Richard,
special meeting.
yeah. Discussion on it? Yes, yes.
Just technicality, on a special meeting that we have, do we not need a quorum? Not a special meeting? There certainly wasn't a quorum here.
no, this
For
is,
the whole board.
this is a committee.
Okay, and how many are on the committee? 4. Oh, okay, all right. I was confused. I thought it was the whole members.
Sure, getting at, yeah.
Good point, though.
Was there an error in my documentation on that?
What's that?
Was there an error that I made in my
No.
documentation on that?
Oh, no, it was just, it's like our committee meetings, we only have 5 on our committee. And as long as you have a quorum of 3, basically, it's a meeting, and this one only had 3 out of 4, so it was a meeting.
I think I was getting confused with, when we have a special meeting, it's the council. Or special meeting, is it not, when it's called?
Yeah, if we have a special meeting, it's a meeting of council.
This is called-
So it's all our members.
But this is called committee budget.
Yeah. But does this mean any increased fees back to the municipalities?
Nothing other than, this was just the committee meeting to authorize an increase for staff and to increase what you're gonna see here later, the tariff fees for
Yeah.
work done by the municipal, by the planning board.
And a new plotter for $4,800.
It's cheap. It's a plus or minus 5% increase, it says here.
Trying to sneak one in on.
That's what we're looking at.
Yes,
2 questions,
yes,
not many, man. Page 3, well, page, natural heritage system strategy, last paragraph. They're not waiting for us to provide information on.
oh, we're way down, where are you?
You're way ahead of us.
You're way,
We're on the special meeting.
yeah,
Somebody asked us,
We're on the special meeting.
Just a 1 pager there.
yeah,
With the, if I may, with an increase in wages,
need a second,
will we see that
you need a second?
that's okay, go ahead.
Sorry,
in our payments to the planning board?
Well, it's already predetermined before we finish the next meeting.
Yeah, well, if we see an increase in the budget for the planning board, we're the ones that have to pay it, so.
That's the reason that it's a combination of all municipalities on the island. And
Mhm.
we all get a bite of whatever costs are increased. Just,
And then
just,
all the fees went up by $20. That's the difference in our tariff fee structure here.
well, that's most of them, I think. But we don't have them memorized, of course.
Yeah, cause I didn't see any comparison as to what the fees were, but it says. The fees should be raised by $20 each to mitigate increases, so I just wondered if all of these fees went up by $20.
I think that was the way that they arrived at trying to eliminate or decrease the fees that were going to the municipalities. It's by increasing planning board tariff rates.
Anything else on this? We did have a motion in, so,
No, just be to accept this information.
all right, yeah,
I'm not on this committee, but if you read the motion, there's an increase to staff members' salaries of 3%. Transfer for the planning board plus or minus 4,800 and a $20 increase in the tariff of fees.
that's all gonna be covered by $20? What happens if they don't get the permits and all that?
No, that's where I think every fee here went up by $20 is what I,
But that's to the public, is not?
Yeah, it was the people that are planning, the planners and
Yeah,
developers.
so everybody, nobody comes in and gets permits for the year. Who's paying that increase in salaries and all that? Or they run into a deficit here.
We get a fee from or a tidbit from the province too, you know. They always chip in a little bit for us. I was trying to find out what the difference between last year's and this year's was for Derek, but I don't know where we have it in our budget.
that's whenever I see any developmental fees or land transfer fees or anything going up, it really affects the public. And I don't think $20 is actually gonna really make a difference, but it could on a large project. With transfer fees and stuff like that. So I just don't wanna see development being hurt in any way. So
Yeah, anyway.
I wouldn't wanna see rate being put out of work. Because there's no development going on, so.
To answer Mr. Mayor's question, the 2026 budget for the planning board,
That's attributable to Central Manitoulin. This year it's 45,000, last year was 43,000. So we're on the hook for an extra 2,000 this year.
Right. Okay, thanks, Ray.
Anybody else got anything? Anybody opposed to accepting this report? It's carried.
The next one,
Then you have first and second on that, this time.
I'll first do.
I thought we did. For accepting this report?
Just to accept this information, I didn't write anything down, so.
No, it's probably Derek and Richard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that next one on page 5 that has all the tariff increases on?
Okay, so then the next one is the minutes of the regular meeting.
I'm sorry.
March
March 4th. There it is.
Yeah.
Says on the agenda though, it's 23rd, eh?
We'll go down off the website.
It's on Route 44.
Okay.
Yeah. And we just got a discrepancy in the date, that's all. I'm gathered.
Yeah, the special committee meeting was the 23rd.
Okay, my arm, sorry.
Yeah,
We had
so
it
it's,
the night before the
Yeah,
so it's 24th.
regular meeting.
All right, most put that on the table.
yeah, so
Gail, Derek, yeah.
that's the one.
Okay, discussion.
I'll go on to my second question. So page 4, item 9. KPMG is suggesting that you do the GL adjustment, carry on with business. Is that a reasonable example or excuse to carry on, not have to chase, what is it, $2,200? Your books.
Well, I guess the motion was that we don't accept it.
Yeah, that's the problem I had. I'm thinking that they should accept it and carry on.
Oh, well, I guess my colleagues, thought whether we didn't want to approve, final statements until any outstanding issues have been resolved. And I think that's a fairly good way of running a business.
Other questions?
This is where we discuss the natural heritage system strategy official plan amendment.
I think that comes up farther down, yeah?
There was a letter.
Yeah, there's a letter from the municipal services office. That letter is there.
Oh, that's that one. We're
Yeah.
gonna discuss it there, not in our minutes to the board, okay?
So, in this report, that was the only thing that was, yeah, actually, financial statements were not complete for the,
They were complete.
yeah.
They were not, they didn't resolve an issue that
All right,
was relevant to the statements, and we just said, well, until we get a clean statement, we're not gonna accept it.
okay, so we should be supporting our planning board in this, situation, I think, because it was, if the shoe was on the other foot, would they accept an incomplete report from us? And the answer is probably no. So,
I don't,
eh,
I'd hope not.
yeah. So, is there a motion required to support the planning board, or is that just?
No, that planning board's already taken the position that
All
we
right,
want a clean statement. Isn't resolved, then we'll
okay.
seek other means.
So if that's the only other thing in this thing, we'll just have that motion to accept this report or these minutes. And we did that already, did we not?
Yep.
Anything else that's gonna be spoken about on these minutes?
We're discussing it down here.
Right? Yeah, all right. Anybody opposed to accepting this? It's carried. All right, rid of that thing. Your readers list,
Action that we accept the arrears list.
secondary, Dale? Questions on that?
Only that when Adam gets time, he's gonna look a little bit closer at those 3 and 4 year arrears. They're up to 15% right now.
A lot of that is taken up by one property. And we recognize that the owners of the property are deceased and there's no heir. So it's a matter of having going to tax sale, at least for one of the properties. And while we're doing tax sale for one, there's probably 2 others that are likely to go up for tax sale. And out of those 3 properties, you're looking, so the total over 407, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you that's probably about 110, 120 of it right there off the 3 properties.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
But that tax sale process is by necessity, a lengthy process, takes well over a year to complete. Even if we started, it would probably be started either late this year, or early next year, in terms of starting, then you have to give them a year to have action on it, then you have to put it in the paper for auction, et cetera, et cetera. So I mean, trying to get it off the books in the next year and a half, unlikely. It's a process to get through.
So what you're saying,
You know what,
might as well go with all the properties that we have to do at once. And
Well, yeah.
minimize cost.
If you're gonna go ahead and start the tax sale process, then yes, you go ahead and start the tax sale process, and we recognize that at least one property owes minimum $35,000 to $40,000 on. So we're gonna have to go through the tax sale on that one property anyway. So while you're in the process of doing that, you may as well do the 2 other major offenders on it. And you know, the other ones are making some payments. They're not as much as you'd want, but they're making some payments, so there is some activity on it. There's 3 that have been inactive in terms of making payments, and those are the three or four that we'd be going after.
What's the limit on tax arrears before you can action them?
You have to be at least 3 years in arrears. And then, if people start making payments on those properties, it kind of almost restarts the clock a bit. And as long as people are trying, the municipal act does have provision that you can, basically halts the tax sale process. So I guess, I mean, you can't go in and say, I paid $1. That's not gonna do it, but as long as people are making I can't remember the wording, but an honest attempt, for lack of a better term. You know, to try and do something about it, then, okay, you have to take a step back. There's more specific rules and regs that I'm not 100% read up on. I don't wanna say anything to be misleading here, so I'll leave it at that. But yeah, there are specific rules.
I just thought they shortened up the period from 3 years, but maybe not.
I don't believe so, but again, it's been a while since I've reviewed that legislation, so if you're right, yeah, you may well be. I don't know.
You're capable hands. Anybody else have any questions? Anybody opposed to accepting this? Not as carried. All right, a check register. Motion to put that, Dale, thank you, Governor,
Yeah,
Derek. The only guy's gotta say on this, Adam, you really outdone yourself this month.
Yeah, hell of
1,400,000.
Never had one that high,
Ooh.
Mr. Chair.
I saw that. Got my heart for a second.
Okay, let's start by going with the insurance of 400,000. And the fact that it was the same month that we had to pay for the school board, so it was 180 some odd for our Rainbow District, and probably, I'm gonna say, don't have it in front of me, I'm gonna say 75,000 or something for the French district, so that's gonna be about $500,000 right there.
keep up the good work.
Why, thank you.
Yeah,
And also Broker Link, which is another 400.
No, that was the insurance I was speaking of, yes.
and people wonder. Yeah, go ahead, Dale.
And that 400,000 isn't finished
Oh,
by a long shot.
no,
Insurance.
Wait till we get all the increases for the flooding.
I don't see the police service board here yet either, for the policing costs yet.
The 400,000 is the completion of the payment for our insurance. Currently, we have no insurance claim out for the flooding because it doesn't affect our municipal property.
No, but it will next year.
Yeah. All right,
Just. I
We'll
know,
probably pick
I
up
know
additional
Denise
insurance.
is saying, but. The year before and the year before, as long as I can remember, we make the payment, and at the end of the year. There's a sizable extra. I don't know where that comes from, but we pay more.
Our premiums will be going up because now we've acquired another property that was previously not insured by us. So now that we have taken ownership of the church, there's probably gonna be amendment on our insurance, so we are gonna expect a little bump there as well. I don't have, can't pretend to tell you how much that was gonna cost.
yes, Richard.
Well, I appreciate all those big dollars. There's one here that I just have to have an answer for.
Yeah.
Check number 48,188. Permit for cloud.
Mr. Raymond, would you like to, would you like to talk to that?
It's the cloud permit or building permit system.
Yeah.
Well, I just figured that had to be justified, so.
Everything goes to the cloud, Richard. Everything goes to the cloud.
Yes. We'll close on cloud nine.
Everybody's got their hand out, Richard, even the clouds.
It seems so.
So,
I didn't need to drop water on it.
any other questions on this?
It's a basis maybe.
Yep.
I knew there was gonna be a question, as soon as I put $1.4 million down, I was expecting this to go as exactly as it went.
You got the anticipated
I got
reaction.
exactly what I thought was gonna happen.
Yeah,
Figures don't lie.
Yeah,
yeah.
I wish those expenses,
Configure.
I wish those expenses could spread out a little bit to go in different months, but it all happened at once and that's how it happened.
The worst part is that it hasn't all. It's not all in this one. We still have police, we still have, DSAP, I think. And
East
there,
side was in here,
eh,
east side was in here,
is it in here?
we pay it monthly, policing is in there,
Yeah,
we pay
okay.
it monthly.
We have to, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so large. All right.
DSAP costs us $80,000 a month approximately. Policing 45.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, well. We're worried about $10,000 salary. All right, please. Anybody else got anything to say about that or questions asked? We have the motion already. Anybody opposed to accepting it?
Except
No,
you
I
didn't
didn't.
have to like it.
Carried it. Yeah, well, at least we're paying our bills. All right, next one is the Finance and Economic Development Committee year to date. Derek and seconder. Yeah, thank you. Questions on it?
Just one maybe if I could, Mr.
Yeah.
Chairman. About halfway down, an item called fire department revenue. Budgeted $500 and we got 63, almost $64,000.
Yes.
I believe that belongs in our capital account. Since I saw two budgeted items, revenue items, one for 60 and one for 65,000. So I guess it depends who supplied the money, NOHFC or provincial grant, just says.
I'll clarify that a little bit. I don't have it exactly in front of me, but I can tell you that that money was a grant that was given to us so that Phil could purchase his washing machine to wash the various equipment. I don't know off the top of my head whether it's NOHFC or what funding agency actually gave us the money. I can't remember, to be honest with you, but that was what the money was earmarked for, and I'll have to take a look and see exactly what account that belongs into.
Well, it obviously doesn't belong where it is.
No, and you're right, that was more that on my part. It was to pay for that, I just have to figure out exactly what account that should be going to, but that's a good catch.
I think you'll find out it's either one of those two.
Yeah, exactly. But that's, I do know what the money was for, I do know that the purchase has been made, the machine has not been delivered as of yet. But Phil did actually make the purchase for it.
Well, I do remember that Phil had to clean up his act. With the with the new washing machines, I mean.
Yeah.
Everybody's in a good mood tonight. Any other questions on it? All right, anybody opposed to accepting that? Carried. So we have one more, F, which is the emergency landfill discussion. Yep. Motion, put that on. Discussion. Is that part of the,
Just as an introduction to this is what was spoken about earlier today at the emergency management session. Basically, the discussion came to the table that residents who had flooding damage to their contents and whatnot may be financially strapped and trying to figure out a way to accommodate these folks at the landfill station and what council would intend to do in terms of trying to facilitate that. So that's the base of discussion.
ooh. Go ahead.
Well, I'll just reiterate what I indicated at the meeting, is that I can see that we need to maintain our system of having permits in order to have a historical document of what we're bringing in and how we're handling it. But I also think that we want to save the community from having to take every back road and side road and pick up all the stuff that may be left and put in the ditches. And it be taken to the landfills and handled properly. So I support the idea of waiving the fees.
Denise? Think you were gonna say something?
Yeah, it's just, like Richard said, we would like to be able to take, the people who have had the issues with flooding and allow them a path and an avenue to, not have to worry about the expensive costs for the demolition permit and the tipping, to avoid those who would rather just place it somewhere rather than, pay for the costs of tipping and the demolition permit. It's really important, I think, that we keep our records straight on what's going on with all the housing, and to ensure that the houses do get repaired. Our building department can facilitate the work that is required. It's also important that we have documentation if we want to help with the DRAP funding, which is the individual funding for the homeowners and the small businesses and stuff like that. So we are required to help facilitate that process if it is allowed to go forward. So good documentation now, because I mean, if we look at the MMH document on it, the whole process could take more than 120 days. So by the time they get their applications in and the ministry says, yeah, we'll fund, a lot of the stuff the information is gone. So by ensuring that people get demolition permits, that they submit pictures, we have a good level of documentation that's required to facilitate these people in applying to the government for their government grants.
Yeah, so I'd like to make a motion that we recommend to council to waive the demolition fees and dump fees for this emergency event, and that the documentation, they have to have the documentation, so to waive the fees and dumps.
Denise and I will craft a motion that basically summarizes that type of work.
Denise has the motion already?
No, Denise and I will work on a motion that
Okay.
basically summarizes that discussion. I think that Denise and I anyway are in agreement on that statement, so it's just a matter of how we want to word it precisely.
Yeah, the motion will read something like that we recommend to council that we waive permit fees and allow for tipping fees for those affected by the emergency disaster upon proof of loss.
Yeah, Raymond?
Yeah, my question was just gonna be for the renovation permits, but I think just what Denise said, permit fees would suffice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just have to be very careful with the
Yeah,
wording.
so-
Yeah, I didn't know exactly how to word that demolition plus everything else.
Yeah.
So as long as staff is okay with the wording of the motion, then.
Yeah, we have your intent. We know what you're trying to do. We just want to make sure that we clean up the motion, make sure that we don't.
Yeah, I don't want to
Put some-
put stuff in there from.
Correct. Yeah, so we'll just clean that up.
Okay, do we have a second for that motion? Yeah, the Dale? All right. Any other discussion on it?
Just, I know that there was some discussion at the emergency planning meeting that people should have insurance that covers that. But people that have had significant floods lose their insurance because the insurance companies go, no, we're not covering that anymore. And it's really hard to get that insurance for flood insurance. So I think that there could be people in town and possibly out into the country in Providence Bay that are going to be affected by this event and may not have that insurance, and those dumping fees and that could be fairly significant. So I do think that we need to be helping out our ratepayers here. So
I think if our staff will be on top of that anyway, so
yeah.
I think so. Have to leave with the experts. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I know, talking to a few business owners, there's a lot of difference between seepage and entering of water in your building and overland flooding. And the overland flooding, in some cases, is exorbitant, deductible,
Yeah,
which basically prohibits even applying for the insurance.
Yeah.
Because the deductible is so high.
yeah, a lot of people don't realize that with insurance.
So what if you had a recreation room and it was completely ruined? So, you know, you're going to demolish it and whatnot. Then you come to rebuild or replace. What about your permit what about a building?
That's what the renovation permit would be, Linda.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we wanted the process to stay in place so that we, those records for prosperity.
The record keeping is the most important part of this whole thing because all of our funding depends on proper record keeping in this one.
So I have one question. So if you show up at the landfill site with a trailer load of drywall to whatever comes out of your house and, how do we know it's come from this?
They would have had to have provided pictures and we would have had to have issued them a special dump card. Because they're saying.
So they gotta come into the
They're
office
gonna have to
first?
come in, they're gonna have to come into the office and prove to us that this is an act of a flood. We're gonna have to see some pictures. We're gonna have to issue them a special, different colored dump card to say, yes, this colored dump card permits you to take your stuff to the dump.
Alright, so that's what'll happen.
Well,
That's
There's
a
gonna have to
check.
be some other protocols in
Yeah.
place, but that's really.
I just don't wanna see big fights in the dump, or the landfill with the tenant there, so.
No, it's all gotta be documented. You gotta
Yeah,
have to.
so that's great. No. I just-
Yeah, and we
Alright, so
will also keep the stuff separate. We're gonna order a specific 40-yard bin that the waste will go in, so that way we can track the costs and we can recoup hopefully some of those costs on our municipal funding.
Super, alright. Anybody else got any questions? We'll take it to a vote.
Maybe follow up on Linda's here. So do you issue a renovation repair permit then when they regut and redo their building? So that is going to be proof in itself that it's.
So it'll, like when you approach us, you would show us pictures, proof that it's been flooded. I'll issue a demo permit and a rental permit at the same time.
Right,
Off you go.
yeah, okay.
And at the same time, when we were getting those permits from Ray, at that point in time, we will produce the flood damage dump card,
Yeah.
whatever you wanna call it. And say here's your special card that entitles the holder to dump their stuff. Perfect.
Super. Anybody else? No, we'll take her to a vote. Anybody opposed to it? Alright, that is carried. Alright, so we'll move into correspondence now, a letter from the municipal services office. We got 8 letters from them?
Which one's that? That's the.
Natural
heritage.
Natural
heritage.
Got it. And then the.
Alright. You want to put that on the,
I'll make a motion, we put it on the floor.
seconder? Alright. Over for discussion.
Well, I can give a bit of an overview first before you discuss if you'd like.
Okay, please do.
Okay, so about two and a half years ago, we signed on to the original natural heritage endeavor there through the planning board. It was that actually was written by the planning board. When it went to the ministry redlined some items after it had all been passed by the municipalities. And that red line version came back to the municipalities for acceptance. And the municipalities, some of them did not accept it. And that has taken a while to filter through. So that's the letter from the ministry saying, hey, you know, you got to get this thing passed. We need it passed. So Teresa is now going back to stage 1, and she's going to be holding a planning meeting, not a planning meeting, but a public meeting regarding the natural heritage system. They're going to revamp the whole document. and it'll go out for public meetings again. That public meeting is set for sometime in June. I believe it's our last council meeting in June, and it'll be rediscussed with the public at that time.
So there's really no use spending much time on it tonight, is what you're saying.
Well, I mean, you can accept it for information because the whole process is starting again. Since that letter came out, that was a letter from December. Teresa's been in contact with the ministry, and literally the whole process is starting again from scratch. She will be holding a public meeting with each municipality, and our public meeting is scheduled for the end of June. So we will go through this whole process again.
We'll change that motion. Go ahead, Richard.
Maybe, Mr. Chairman, I'll just put my 2 cents worth in here. As we said, this new heritage system strategy came out, and the board and the majority of the board reluctantly agreed to it. Because we were told it really wasn't going to affect anything. It was just one of these things we had to do. But then after we had accepted it, after the board, the members of the board had accepted it, the planning board or the government took another look at it and said, well, no, we want to do some changes here. We're going to put all the responsibility for identifying and controlling these specific areas onto yours, and here's what you have to say. I accept what minister tells me. And we stuck our finger at it and said, no, that's not what we said. That's not what we agreed to. And 2 out of the 7, I think it was, agreed. But like you said, what choice do we have? We just accept it, but the rest of us said no. So now this is where we are. We're going right back to square one.
Right.
I know that if you start getting into it with deer management areas and everything else, it can make a big difference on development in municipalities. I mean, I look at the town of Gore Bay, pretty much is a winter yard for deer. That could cut all development in the town of Gore Bay. Once you start getting into this document and the different things that the government has put into it, I think we really need to take a look at it. And just because the government says it, that doesn't mean that we should be going along with it, because it could affect a lot of development here on the Manitoulin.
All right, we'll just change that motion to accept this for information only then. You guys okay with that?
Really want to get.
Yeah. All right.
Be kept apprised of the
Yeah.
meeting and the public comments.
Oh, I'm sure we'll hear about it. Anybody opposed to it? It's carried. All right, next one, planning board again, notice of tariffs.
Yeah, we sort of already discussed that.
Yeah.
He's good.
That's where the board decided, Mr. Chairman, to up the planning board fees to outside agencies, developers, in lieu of increasing fees to the municipalities.
Yeah.
We're getting the benefit of the work, not municipalities.
Anything else on that?
Just question for Ray then. How do you think the raising of some of those fees will affect developers in that in?
I don't think it will.
It's not.
Cost of doing business.
Okay.
Yeah, you want to build a house, you're gonna, or if you want to sell your property, you're gonna pay the fee. You want to lodge, you're gonna pay the fee.
Okay.
Yeah.
As long as you don't see any adverse
I
effect.
can't, there's gonna go.
Yeah, deal.
They were talking 2%, was it not? Is that what they,
Well, $20 per item.
yeah, but then there was another 2% in the report.
Well, that was the 3% of the wages that was increased.
Yeah. Anything else on it? If not, I'll ask for a motion to accept.
Yeah.
Information.
So,
Yeah, Derek. Seconder. Richard. Were you opposed to it? That's carried. Guess that concludes pretty well our business tonight. 11 is in camera, we have nothing in camera, I just need a motion to adjourn. Dale and Richard. We're adjourned.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you, Rick.